Welcome to the Bridge of Two podcast. Welcome to your local bridge.
Welcome. Are you gonna try to go through this all again?
I'm your bridge host one.
Bridge host 2.
Together we are
The Bridge of 2.
That was the perfect rhyme.
Well, you really are in a Dr. Seuss mood, aren't you?
That worked out, yeah. Make the children's book will be in a store near you.
The Bridge of 2 children's book.
Bridge of Two and you. So yeah, we had Johann Martin on last week. That was fun.
Our special guest, a real author.
Oh my gosh! I mean, it's true. He has actually published his novel called "A Dream of Stewards." It's a time travel. It's like Jason Bourne time traveling.
Basically, that's how I kind of read it.
Which is pretty awesome, because it's got that element of
Suspense,
but
also sci-fi.
Time,
yes.
Yes.
Very good. Johann, welcome on anytime. Really enjoyed him coming on. Had a good episode. If you haven't listened to it yet, go give a listen. As our last episode.
That's right. Go right now.
Yeah, just pause
this, and go listen to that one
if you haven't.
That one was our longest episode yet, too. It's just shy of 2 hours, like 3 minutes short.
It was that was a fun one for me. I really
Absolutely.
enjoyed it. I enjoyed Johann being on, and I enjoyed the topic we talked about, the adaptations.
Yeah,
there's a lot to talk about there.
It was, yeah. It definitely was a easy topic to fill up time.
Yes.
So, what you been up to?
Yeah, just same old. Last week was on spring break, so didn't touch homework at all or any schoolwork or look at anything. Other than some clinicals. Because of that, I'm behind. But it is what it is. I did some
slacker.
work today. Yeah, I'm a slacker, but I did some work today. But because of that, I've been able to do other things, like play Elden Ring.
Ooh. Have you gotten further into the ring?
I have.
Is there a ring?
I am becoming more Elden.
Elden? Is that a thing?
I don't know. I don't think so. You are the tarnished.
Have you found the ring yet? Are you going to destroy it?
I have not found the ring yet. I might destroy it. Well, it depends on who owns it.
One Elden Ring
to
rule them all.
Very fun game. I'm still just. It's usually if I'm playing a game, it ends up being that.
Yeah,
because it's just so good. I still could play with my brother a little bit.
Yeah, that's something I want to. That's something I'm excited for. Is the co-op aspect of it?
Yeah, I'll definitely be. I could even go back and play with you on my current character, even if I'm like super high level.
What is it? Does the difficulty like?
My character will just scale down with yours.
Scale down. Okay.
I'll have all my abilities like that, but it'll just scale down, so I'm not doing as much damage.
Okay.
Yeah, I progressed even further in the game today. Defeated another one of the main bosses and found a new area, which is super cool.
What did he look like? The boss?
Oh, a giant man that was very bulky, and his horse was very small. It was actually very fun. I'm gonna show you a picture later on because it was really funny. Extremely difficult boss.
And he's on a horse?
Part of him is, or at parts of time. Like the horse summons in and he rides it around and swings at you with two giant like cleavers.
Oh man, gosh!
Then he uses
excited for the boss fight.
Then he uses gravity magic. This one was awful because it's a really large battle arena or boss arena, and you summon in extremely far away from the boss, and he's just shooting giant arrows at you from a great bow. You have to dodge him while you run up, and you can summon like NPC companions to help you out because it's like supposed to be like some championship or some contest thing. I don't know. It was really difficult. It was just a very difficult boss. I finally beat him, but it was very difficult. But when I did it, it opened up a whole new area for me to go to. So,
do you have to like prepare for those fights? Do you like go and like get certain potions and certain things? Do you do a lot of prep before?
You can.
But you didn't.
I don't. I mean, my character pretty much stays the same as he is. He uses magic and a great sword. So, well, right now he's using a colossal great sword, but. And I just try to figure. I mean, you have basically your health and magic potions. You're limited, and they just restock every time you sit at what they call a grace, but basically a bonfire like a Dark Souls.
Oh, okay.
For those who know Dark Souls, And you get other like things that you can consume items that give you like a boost in strength or whatever. But I mean, most of the bosses can be beaten even if you're really you're not. Yeah.
It's more about knowing kind of their skill set.
It's skill. It's more about skill than about just overpowering with things.
Yeah.
Because like technically, even the boss I fought, you can fight at a lower level, and you can beat him. It would just take longer because you're doing less damage, and and if you get hit like once, you'll die. Like me, I had like 3 hits, and I'm pretty much dead from him. But if I dodge, I kind of ran in, dodged, would attack, and then when it's got like super dicey, I would just back up and use my magic.
No.
But yeah, it's fun. I'm enjoying the atmosphere of the game. It's just still super cool.
Yeah.
Like I said, a whole new area just opened up that made it even more interesting. So that was fun. It's just a fun game in general. Just super fun.
Nice.
So I've been playing that. Still playing a little bit of Lost Ark here and there, not as much.
Oh, okay.
But just slowly progressing my way through the story. So I get to do endgame with Josh when I get there. I just enjoy those the top-down action RPG games.
Right.
So that's been fun. Download it again today and might try to play a little bit of Guild Wars 2. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
I have heard of it. I've never played it.
It's been out for a while.
I've heard good things about it over the years. I just never. Isn't it? No. That's not the one that's based off D&D, is it?
Mm-mm.
I was thinking of a different one.
You're thinking of
Neverwinter Nights.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is okay. I've played a little bit of that.
Okay. But, so what's cool about Guild Wars?
Well, Guild Wars is just
an MMO,
it's an MMO. It's a huge game. It's been out for years. They put it back on my radar as I was on YouTube, and I noticed that they just released another expansion.
Oh.
It's the first time they released an expansion in like 7 years.
Oh, wow.
But I was watching it. The game is just expansive, but a lot of people love it. Gameplay is fun, and it definitely is more. It's bigger on horizontal progression compared to vertical progression. So instead of like leveling up higher, like what you do, you level up to, but then once you get there, it's about getting better gear, looking cooler, and doing stuff like that, getting different mounts and all that.
Right.
So it just looks fun. I've played it a while back when it first not when it first came out, but just when I first got my computer, which was years ago. Never got super into it, but like still enjoyed it. But that was also back when I was playing SWTOR and WoW.
Okay.
And it was just a little bit different. I was already focused on those games. But so I downloaded it again today. I might end up trying to play it sometime later this week or whatever, just to see if I enjoy the gameplay. Cool. There's just a lot to it. It's free to play now too, so that's fun.
Nice.
Other than that, I was reading a Star Wars book and I stopped.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't. The way that he was writing his writing was just
bad.
The writing itself wasn't bad, but the way the book was laid out and the pacing was just awful. Because you would read a chapter. That chapter would be 3 pages, and it would be based on a character, and that character would be doing something, and then you'd get to a certain point, end the chapter, and then the next chapter would be on a completely different character on a completely different place doing something completely different.
You're saying 3 pages?
Yeah, some of the chapters were like 3 pages.
Wow.
And then it would just switch to a completely different character doing a completely different thing for like 3 pages, and then it'd go to a different character doing a completely different thing for like 3 or 4 pages, and then we'll go back to the original.
So you're
character.
like, you just can't really get into
what's going on.
Any story.
So like there was cool stuff going on, but then at the same time, I was just like, I'm getting like 2 pages of this, 3 pages of this.
Was there something climactic happening, and they were trying to show it from different perspectives?
No, because it was like there was like a battle going on at one place, and you had the perspective of one guy. But the next chapter would be a completely different character and a completely different place, planet, doing a completely different thing. And it's just like, now some of them would kind of meet up where it's just like, oh, these people are now talking about this battle going on. But even then, it was just like, it just takes me out of the pacing. It just took me out of what was going on.
Right.
And then there's just some things getting brought in that I was just like, if they're going to start bringing this into my Star Wars stuff, I don't want Disney to continue to ruin my Star Wars experience. So I kind of just put it down. Started reading another book called, one I've been wanting to read for a long time, called Thomas Covenant. It's a couple of different books. The first book's called Lord Foulsbane.
Okay.
Interesting book. Interesting premise.
I've heard of those books.
Yeah. They're older.
Who wrote them?
Stephen R. Donaldson. It's good. It's got an interesting premise. It starts off with a guy who actually has leprosy. Nice. In our world.
Good start.
Like in our world.
Oh.
And
Let me tell you my story.
Kind of, but not really. He's just living his life how he is with leprosy. He's been abandoned, and he's a very hateful man.
Is he Thomas?
He is. His name is Thomas Covenant.
Is that a spoiler?
No.
Okay.
You literally learned that in like the first page.
Okay.
But
I am Thomas.
It's spoilers if you care, but this is literally like the first couple chapters of the book, so it's not much of a spoiler. But I've only gotten like 90 pages in.
Teaser.
But he's like a very bitter and angry man because he's been left by his wife because of leprosy. No one really wants to be around him because of the leprosy and all that. And he's dealing with all the different aspects of the disease. But then at one point in the book, or like a couple chapters, like a chapter 2, and he's walking through town and he gets hit by a car.
Classic.
And he wakes up in a basically different world. Wakes up in a cave. This cave has got some weird creature in it with a staff, and the creature's evil, and then some other thing is evil and it's talking to him, and then it teleports him to like this tower called this area, and then he basically comes to find out that he's in a different world. But the very interesting premise of it is the fact that, at least for right now, he believes he's in a dream. He does not believe that he's really, because the thing is basically what happened is he's now, the things that the leprosy that was affecting him, he couldn't like feel certain nerves in his fingers, so that is going away. Like he can feel things again. He's not like constantly whatever.
He's like losing his leprosy or something?
To an extent, like it's almost like the world is healing him of it. So he's living like he's in a dream. And so he's just going along with the dream. So he's just kind of doing random stuff.
So the way he's like,
his decision making is let's just continue on with the dream. Make sure the dream keeps going. Even if something he doesn't want to do is like, well, this will continue the dream, so I can continue the dream and go home. And so it's interesting. I almost put it away. I almost stopped reading it.
Jump off a mountain like cliff, and then he'll wake up.
Oh, I hope he doesn't do that because I don't think he's dreaming.
That's what I would think of.
I think part of his mind is just like, I don't know if I'm actually dreaming those.
Right.
But he wants to believe that he is. But I almost put the book down again because early on in the chapter, because he has that mindset of I'm just dreaming and nothing really matters. He ends up doing something that isn't good.
Yeah.
And I read, it was like a very small portion of it, and I kind of like watched a review on it after that, and it was said that that's like the only time that ever happens.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I'll continue on with it, but it's basically a rape scene.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And but
why would you do that to your main character?
But that's the weird thing. Well, this is apparently during the review I was listening. This is kind of like the start. This was kind of like the start of the grimdark fantasy books becoming things like Game of Thrones, stuff like that. But once again, I heard this is the last time that's the first and only time it ever happens in the book. It doesn't happen again, so I was like, I'll continue with it. And the other thing I liked is a lot of the characters are like, one character tries to kill him for it. Another one is very peeved off that he did it, and is basically like, I'm gonna get you to where you need to go, but once you're there, I'm gonna tell the lords there that you did this, and they're gonna judge you. So it's not like it's basically not like he just did it and then he's getting away scot-free. It's like people know about it and he's being...
Well, he better like realize... At some point, he better realize that it's not a dream and actually have to confront that he...
I hope so. Right now, it's... Yeah, right now he's just...
I don't know if he's the kind of person that would care or feel guilty or not.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the book is it's just the way the character... Because the character's written is very bitter and angry. I mean, he kind of did it out of... It was like a weird thing because he did it out of like anger and bitterness, not at the person, but just at the circumstances. And it kind of just like was, I don't know. It was just weird. Yeah. I don't know. It threw me off. Like I said, I almost put it down, but I kept with it. I'm glad I kept with it because once again, people have approached him about the character about it. And like he's not getting away scot-free, which I appreciate. And the world is really cool. So I'm hoping nothing else happens with it. If it does, again, I'll put the book down. I'm not going to read it anymore. And I also just am not the biggest fan of grimdark because I'm a big fan of good versus evil. Grimdark tends to be everyone's neutral. There is no really good or evil.
Right.
But it does seem like in this book, while this does seem kind of like an introduction to grimdark of like a neutral main character or a main character that like is good but also bad. It seems like there is still going to be like that good versus evil in it. And I'm hoping that he kind of learns and goes through a process of character development of, this is real. How I've been acting is awful and horrible, and I'm gonna make recompense. Right. So we'll see. I'm gonna keep going with it. The first book's like 300 pages, so I'll go with it. Okay. See how it is. But I mean, like I said, the world is actually really interesting, and the other characters are fun. And, so I like the writing style is not bad. It's easy to follow. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Cool. Other than that, though, I mean, not much. I've gotten one panel done in my comic book, pretty much. But I haven't had much time to...
And that's the one I've seen, right? I've seen that panel, like the page.
You've seen the page. I got the first panel pretty much like floated. You haven't seen that except really tell
Oh,
I changed some
okay.
stuff on it too.
So you like went back to the panel and like to put more detail into it.
Yeah. Now I'm going back on that first
Okay.
page to actually do a full panel or get all the details in the panel. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm continuing that. I just haven't been drawing the past few days. I haven't been. I need to. I actually haven't been drawing since I got sick on Monday. Really.
Okay.
I jumped in there a few times, but I just haven't since then. So I got to jump back on it. That's kind of why I want to go to. You hear me? Go out tomorrow and draw. So.
Cool.
Other than that, I think that's about it for me. I don't know, not much else going on.
Uh-huh.
You know, sci-fi fantasy wise. Saw the new trailer for Harry Potter game.
Harry Potter. Yeah, the Harry Potter Legacy gameplay footage. Yeah, I watched that too.
Looks fun.
Looks pretty
Looks
cool. It looks like I wanted them to do this, and they kind of did with Shadow of Mordor, but I wanted them to do that for Lord of the Rings. Like, so like the Harry Potter game it's taking place hundreds of years before the events of Harry Potter. So pretty much no characters that we know of that are alive or in the world. I think the ghosts are going to be the same character. You know, like,
Yeah.
But so like they're just basically taking the world of Harry Potter and some of the lore of like, and they're dropping you in that. So that kind of like gives you the ability to be the hero of that story, because you're not playing Harry Potter, who's the hero of the main story. You're, this rando wizard, fifth year. So I always wanted them to do that with Lord of the Rings. They were going to do something like that for a while. They were going to have you be a character that like was a part of the Rangers pre Lord of the Rings or something. This game was going to be called the White Council or something like that. And like the White Council, like Gandalf and Galadriel and Elrond were going to be like sending you out to do quests and stuff in Middle Earth. But it never materialized. But just like a game that's like lore faithful, which Shadow of Mordor is not really super faithful to the lore or the kind of like
story in general, if I'm correct.
Well, like the tone.
Yeah.
Like the tone of, it's like just very brutal, game. Even though I enjoyed the first one as a game and everything, but yeah, the Harry Potter game, the gameplay just looks very lore faithful to Harry Potter. It definitely feels like the Harry Potter world.
It just looks really good. It looks really
good,
fun.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like we were talking about it before. It looks like they crammed everything like Harry Potter into it. It's just like, you're going to be going to classes as your character. You're going to be exploring Hogwarts. You're going to be learning charms and potions and, all the things you've seen in the movies and read in the books and stuff, seeing the animals or the magical creatures and all that. And
that's kind of what I'm hoping for it too, is that it'll be like, it'll make you feel like that you're at Hogwarts and in the world of Harry Potter, with the classes and all that stuff. Like, I hope it does, I just hope it does. I think that'll be fun. It'll be cool. I think, I don't know. Look, the way the gameplay trailer they put out, it just looks like it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I hope it's good. It's been in development for quite a while. So,
yeah.
I'm excited for it.
It's a small thing, but one of the things I saw in the trailer that did make me think of, like, did give me the atmosphere, a strong atmosphere of it feeling like, being at Hogwarts is the seasons, how it's like dynamic, like as the school year progresses, that'll be reflected in the same, you'll go to the same places and it'll be snowy or it'll be, fall colors or raining or whatever, and that's something that was always fun and just atmospheric in the movies, how you'd see the seasons change throughout it would like show you the passage of time in the story through the seasons changing and things like that. And,
yeah, they did a good job of that in the movies for sure. And I also thought that was really cool in the game, and it'll be cool to see how fast time progresses throughout the story and the school year and all that. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be just like one school year, or it's going to be multiple years, or
I know you're starting the 5th year,
yeah,
which
right.
is
You're
interesting.
starting 5th year, and you're like trying to catch up
Yeah,
with the other students. They showed the room of requirement.
it's gonna be like almost like a home base thing.
Yeah, where you can just like put whatever you need in there so that you can train yourself up to like catch up to the students and stuff. And looks like there's like a lot of exploration possibilities with like just jumping on a broom and flying around.
Yeah. I'll be curious to know how big the map is,
Right,
and where you can actually explore.
right.
It just seems cool.
Yeah,
and I'm excited for it. More Harry Potter. I mean, there hasn't been a decent Harry Potter game in ever, as far as I know.
And well, I mean, I like Lego Harry Potter. They're fun.
Okay, well those, yeah, I enjoy those games.
But yeah, like a game that's trying to be, they've never made one. I mean, they just made the video game, like the movie adaptations, which I think I played the Order of the Phoenix one, which, some of it's fun. Some of it's fun just by virtue of playing through the story of Order of the Phoenix and doing some of that stuff. But, yeah.
Exciting.
It's cool.
Did you ever play Lord of the Rings Online?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's probably out of all the MMOs that are out there, I probably played that one the most.
I've heard such good things about it, especially late game stuff. Never played more than like a couple hours.
Yeah. And that's one of the first ones that was free to play.
Mm-hmm.
I think that may have been the first major one to go free to play.
It's possible. I don't know for certain.
I just remember. I don't remember if it was right at launch, if it was, but it was close to. It wasn't long after that game was released that they went to a free to play model, and I was like, "What? This is awesome!" Because big Lord of the Rings fan here, so I was a dwarf.
I wanted to play it, but I also feel like MMOs are just so hard to get into too, though, if you're not used to it, because there's just so much time you gotta invest.
Yeah.
So, which is why I'm even hesitant to try and do Guild Wars too, because there's a lot to that game too.
Right.
But
right.
We'll see. What about you though? What have you been up to this week?
Past 2 weeks? Yeah. Besides, checking out that Harry Potter deal, I I played Lego Harry Potter with my kids a little bit.
Nice.
Anytime they play it, they end up needing help to get further.
Yeah.
So they're almost through it, the whole thing. Like they're on the 6th movie. So, but then.
Oh wow, they're farther than me.
Yeah.
I never made that far.
Really? It's those games are fun. Like as they go on too, they're better.
Yeah, back in the day, back a couple years ago, I had a stint of like. I don't remember what was going on, but something was going on, and I just was like, I want to sit at home and do nothing, other than work and whatever I was supposed to do. And so I ended up playing through the Lego Harry Potter, like a lot of them. I got them on my computer and played through most of them. Got up I think like the 5th movie or something like that. But while I did, I was watching Harry Potter on my computer, my laptop. I put my laptop. So basically, at night, I'd go home and just go in my room, turn that on, play it, and watch Harry Potter. It was great.
That sounds like peak Harry Potter experience there.
It was. I'm actually around that times when I had never read the books. Doing that is what made me want to read the books.
Nice. So yeah, we did that. We've done that. Yeah, I haven't played any games really. Because I've been writing.
You're doing what I should be doing, and that's being productive. I have not been.
Well,
productive.
It's not. Yeah, I said on the podcast last week, it's not like that's all I'm doing. It's just brain power that I use for enjoying sci-fi fantasy. I'm just kind of like devoting it to writing and like staying into the story and stuff. So I have been writing a lot and enjoying that, and I'm past where I was revising up to a point. Like I had written up to a certain point in the story, and then I had not finished it, and I am right at that point now. So everything else going forward will be 100% new, and I'm not sure how much it's going to be.
Gotta land that ending.
But yep, that's really what it's about. But I'm excited because I do have an ending, climactic kind of, scene that I know I'm writing towards, so that's helping me, right in that direction. It's also helping me realize there's some things I need to go back and like plant a little bit of foreshadowing in and stuff like that to make it work better. And I know I'm going to be refining it a lot more as I actually write it. Cause it's like you write it and it's like very rough. And then you go back, you revise it a little bit and then you kind of like make it better. So, but yeah, so I'm trying to get it done this month. It's going to be a stretch. I think it might go in a little bit into next month, but I'm not going to let it go into May.
Well, like I say every time, I'm excited to read it.
I'm excited to share it, and I'm excited to read it too because I'm like, what is this? Actually sitting down and reading through the whole story, chapter by chapter. That's going to be.
I'm just so
a whole different thing.
I'm just excited. I'm excited to finally read it.
Yeah.
Other than anything Brandon Sanderson, that's my most excited upcoming book to read.
Did you see the thing I sent you?
I saw video. I saw that because I've been doing homework most of the day. I haven't watched it yet.
So, yeah. So he Brandon Sanderson sent this video. Not average. It's kind of like a promotion for the Kickstarter. It's like 10 days left, which they've hit. They're over 30 million now.
Yeah, they've 100% hit their mark.
Well, 20 million was the record, so they're 10 million over the record now.
And I haven't even done mine yet.
You haven't?
I haven't.
10 days.
I know I need to go do it. I've been kind of waiting.
You need to go watch.
I've been kind of waiting to make sure I actually have enough to do it. So
okay.
Sadly,
watch that video.
I will.
It's really funny.
That'll probably make me end up getting it.
It's so funny because it's like an advertisement, but it's an advertisement for dealing with a medical problem called
Brandon Sandersitis or something like that.
Brandofanditis or something like that.
I don't find it.
And
Brandofanitis.
And the cure that they're advertising, it's like a pharmaceutical commercial.
Oh my gosh.
And the
timely.
It's called Quadrival or Quadronovel or something like that. It's like what it's Quadronaval, I think is what they call it.
That's amazing.
Quadronaval will not lessen your symptoms. It will probably increase them. It's like, I don't know. It's just really funny.
That's funny. I gotta check that out.
But yeah, all that stuff coming out is super motivational. For like just Brandon Sanderson in general, he's just so talented. He's so fun as an author, and the way he interacts with his fans, and I don't know. It just makes me want to write more whenever he's doing his thing. And
good.
So he's been doing more like live streams and teasers. I've actually read some of the sample chapters.
Good.
Yeah, I didn't read much of the first one, but the second one is hilarious. Now I don't know if it's going to be that funny. I think the whole time, but like at least initially, it's a character who can't. Well, okay, so spoiler warning, if you don't want to know, because some people are choosing to like not know anything about the books going in, even the title, and I won't say the title or anything.
I don't want to see the title.
Because you don't want to know that, but there's like a character who he can't remember why he's where he's at. And it has a very like...
Sounds like me.
It has a very Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy feel.
Okay.
And... so it's just really funny.
That's funny.
And at one point, the character is like rating things. He's like rating a tree. Like it's like 3 out of 5 stars, and he doesn't know why. He's like, "Why am I rating everything?"
Oh my gosh!
And there's like another part. He's like, "I give it 2.5 out of 5 stars." Like it's just that alone was just like
that's funny.
I'm
excited for those.
Keep reading. Yeah. So
something else happened this week too.
What?
We played a little D&D.
Oh yeah,
finally for the first time in a while.
Oh yeah, I did do that,
and
that was fun. Actually,
and this time
thank you for reminding me of that.
Yeah, and this time I didn't. I was the DM, not Josh. Again,
yes. Jeremiah was on spring break, so
that's what I did about spring break. Was I wrote some D&D.
We did what was supposed to be a one shot.
Supposed to be one shot. It's gonna turn into a 2-shot. Might turn into a campaign.
It's gonna be at least 2. It could be more than 2, it feels like.
2, I could easily turn it into a full campaign for where I decided. Because I actually changed a few things up after this session because how much you guys liked it. And we could easily end it where I want it, where we're going to, or it can turn into a campaign. It's up to you guys.
I mean, it worked out too, like, just the way we all got thrown together, we like just immediately, started collaborating. I think that was a good move. I had in my head a kind of an idea about how my character be introduced to people, but it actually was more fun in reality playing it out, where as if like this is just a known thing. This is how my character is.
Yeah.
Which my character was this type of race, this race that I researched, like I just discovered whenever I was looking into fun races, called a furbolg. And they're like they're related to giants somehow, but they've been exposed to like the Feywild or something. So they have like magical origin. And so he's a, what do you call it? Druid. But because of his background, like his village was like destroyed or something. He's like the lone survivor. So he's been a hermit, and so he doesn't talk. He only writes things down on like he has like a tablet that he writes things down.
And I will tell you that Josh 100% stayed in character, and if he was going to talk in character, he very rarely talked throughout the game. And he would write things down and nod and point at things and gesture, and it became really funny very quickly.
And my character is kind of like, I don't know if he's dumb, but he is just
naive, probably
naive, like just doesn't understand social situations as well. And so he's constantly offering people elderberries because he's a druid. So he has like natural like remedies and stuff on him. And I also didn't name the character because I imagined that he wouldn't have named himself. Like he wouldn't have given a name to his companions, that they would have just named him. And so because I kept giving elderberries out to people, they named me Elderberry, which I think is perfect.
Elder for short,
which is cool.
Yeah, it was good. We had we had Clackaraka. Something I don't know. Clacka. We're calling him Clacka.
Clacka.
A Kenku?
No, not a Kenku.
Oh, Aarakocra. Sorry, Aarakocra.
Clackaraka, the Aarakocra.
Rogue.
Yeah.
Played by Caleb,
yeah.
Podcast listeners have heard on here before.
Yes.
He was also another player character. And then we also had Cliff, Barbarian Minotaur, played by Alex.
Right. And then a Dragonborn.
And then the Dragonborn Thrain, played by Steven.
So a lot of very interesting races.
Yes.
And personalities. And
very interesting personalities. It became very funny.
So much.
Cliff is Cliff is actually an old character back when I used to play D&D for the first time with Alex and Caleb and them. Cliff is just such a
he was great because he kept picking up people by the throat.
He kept throwing bodies. It was great.
Yeah, and in the middle of combat, it's like, can I throw him? And he actually rolled really well in one of those. He didn't roll well enough to do what he was trying to do, but he did throw well enough to, I think, kill an enemy.
I know the
assassin, or like explode an enemy.
the assassin, picked up one of the dead body, cartwheeled through the air, slammed it into the assassin, and it basically exploded the wall and just knocked the assassin out. I was gonna say kill him, but he was like non-lethal damage. I was like, okay, I guess this is non-lethal. It scoops his legs out from underneath him.
Non-lethal damage.
So yeah, it was very fun. I love being a DM. I think more so than I like being a player, but I think I like it more so than being a player.
Oh, and I had a fun moment whenever.
Oh yes,
you were like making my efforts to revive, like to heal this NPC that got killed, was bleeding out. You said, even though I rolled pretty high, I was like 17 or something. You were like, you try to.
I did give you DC. The DC was I think, I cannot remember what it was, but it was, you could have done it. It was just really high. So I will let you know. If you nat 20'd it, you would have.
Yeah, it felt like it would have had been nat 20. But so he died even though I was trying to heal him. But I had my character had a subclass that gave him the spell Revivify, which if you have Revivify, you can bring someone back from the dead that's died in the last minute. So whenever he bled out,
he bled out and he used Revivify and brought my
dead NPC
back, which at first screwed with my plans, but like any DM would, I have fixed my plans.
Oh boy, he will die one way or another.
Not necessarily.
That's what I was convinced of. I was like, he's just going to die some other way.
He might, but maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll have to find out next.
Not
session.
if Elder has anything to say about it.
But yes, it was fun. I definitely wanted you guys to start out together because if we're already trying to do a one shot, and I already assumed that it might go over.
Right.
I didn't want you guys spending another hour trying to get to know each other in a bar.
The whole thing in the we were in this manor that was this like guy who paints and like sells paintings and or sells art, and apparently he was like being held hostage by this group of assassins or something. That whole thing was just so hilarious.
That was like such a fun. That scene lasted a lot longer than I thought, and also went way differently than I thought, but was wonderful, and I'm so happy.
Because we're like thinking this guy's like the leader, like the evil mustache twirling leader, and he's really just a victim, and we're like just making it worse, torturing him worse. Yeah, like it was also my character carried a gruesome painting out while he was invisible, so he just saw this painting that he was terrified of, like floating towards him.
It also was just great because it was one of the few times where I feel like splitting up actually ended up well. Because at this point Thrain had left. Steve, our player Steven had to leave, so we had Thrain transport out in Slave 3, a spaceship, whatever. But you guys split up. You went in first with Caleb's character, the Clacka, following, and then Cliff ended up somehow deceiving his way inside with the painter, which is amazing. Awesome. Yeah. But I had to keep jumping between y'all with going on different things. I feel like I went pretty well, actually. So it turned out great.
You did a good job.
And you guys all ended up where you needed to be.
Yeah. We did.
And I think we ended that with you guys meeting up with two people. But you guys, I'm assuming, are thinking the leaders of this assassins group in a little...
Yeah, we went down to some hidden part room of the manor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll see what happens after that.
So I guess so.
Got some interesting things planned. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. It seemed like you guys enjoyed it. We were there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Anyway, yeah, I think that's it for me. So we are going to go get some Liquid Death.
My favorite.
Because we're going to try out Liquid Death. If you don't know what that is, if you've never heard of it, stick around and we'll tell you all about it.
Yes, we will.
And then we're going to talk about the Obi-Wan trailer because if you've learned nothing from this podcast, you've learned that all we need are photographs from an Obi-Wan show to make it last a whole episode.
That's right. We did talk about the photos last time. And now we got the full trailer. We got the trailer.
It wasn't even photos. It was concept art.
It was concept art. You're right.
Now we have a trailer.
Now we have a trailer.
And pictures.
Ewan McGregor. Yes.
Yes.
All right. So well, yes, we'll be back.
See you soon.
Is there any potassium in this?
Unfortunately, no. I will have to have my potassium bar later. Get my daily potassium.
Your daily potassium.
So we're back.
Welcome back.
With Liquid Death.
Yes, my favorite kind of death.
I've seen this advertised for a long time. And it's very good for somehow they make it look like, really appealing.
Mm-hmm.
And just the name of it and the way they advertise it, it's just really funny.
Murder Your Thirst.
Yeah, it's literally mountain water.
It
from the Alps,
which blows my mind because I've seen this can in the gas stations all over the place. It looks like a beer can.
Yeah, it does. I think that's probably part of the marketing.
Probably. I've always been like, Liquid Death. That's probably some crazy beer that's probably got a lot of alcohol in it.
Right.
Nope, it's just water.
Yep, it is water. There is sparkling water. They have a sparkling water, and they have I guess they have a flavored. They've sold out, and they have flavored sparkling water, Liquid Death. But I got us the OG because I just want to know,
gotta know what
does it murder my thirst? Mm-hmm. Does it brutally kill my thirst?
How good is this drinking water from the Alps?
Yeah. Do you want to read the thing now or after you try it?
Let's read it now. I'll start from the very top. This infinitely recyclable can of Stone Cold Mountain Water came straight from the Alps to murder your thirst. When a group of teenagers set off into the mountains for a weekend of drinking regular water in plastic bottles, they became hunted by an aluminum can of mountain water that was dead set on murdering their thirsts and recycling their souls. Once cracked open, no thirst is safe from liquid death. After ritually dismembering its thirst victims, this brutal can of water used the severed body parts of the dead thirsts to build itself a flesh suit, which it used as a disguise to get a job in marketing. But liquid death never took the job. It just murdered a bunch more thirsts instead. I need to drink this.
It murdered a bunch more thirst instead, not people.
Yeah, thirsts.
It doesn't want to kill you, it wants to kill your thirst.
It has no smell, as you would expect water to not have. Let's see how refreshing this is.
To like mentally prepare myself for it to just be water.
That threw me off. It threw me off. I already took a sip and threw me off. I was like, oh gosh, I expect this to have some sort of carbonation or something.
Sweetness, yeah.
Tastes like water. My thirst is currently being murdered, so that's good. It's just water.
It is a letdown. It is totally a letdown.
It's just water.
It is totally a letdown that you're like, I'm drinking this just liquid death. And then it's just literally water.
Oh gosh.
I mean, it's good water.
It is good water. It's water in a can.
It's tastes very clean, very mountainy, you know.
Almost as if it's from the Alps.
And I'm glad, that my thirst is going to be taken out and dismembered.
I cannot drink water from a can. Like I could never drink this regularly because
it just messes
with my mind, and I just get a wave of disappointment every time I drink it. Like, like a lot of things you'll get like that burst of serotonin. It's like, yes, it's great.
Yes, right.
Yeah, this is the exact opposite.
Right. It's almost like a can like this creates that expectation that you're about to get this hit of dopamine or whatever, that you're drinking something that's, you're like, this is going to taste so good. This is going to improve my life.
Nope, it's just water.
I mean, I guess it does, it's water. So
it does improve your life, yeah.
But there's no potassium. That's my biggest knock against it.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
But I guess I don't know if this is, if they were really, I don't know if this is the direction they try to go with the marketing, but they're advertising it as like, trying to use less plastic bottles, put less of that out there. These are recyclable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the cans are better. So,
which I believe it, but part of me just thinks that someone just said, "What if we made water and we sold it in a beer can?"
It looks like beer.
It's
insane.
Yeah.
Anyway, good water. If you like water,
would drink.
You're welcome to try it and drink it. Would recommend drinking water.
Like, do it like you said. You just like have this in your cup holder, like get pulled over.
Yes,
with it open.
No, officer, you don't understand. It's just liquid death. Drinking mountain water. Here, try some.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's water as advertised.
Sadly, I'm still alive.
Your thirst is not. Though.
My thirst is not. You're right.
As advertised. If you're still with us, I hope you're ready to just nerd out with us.
Yes, this next section is just going to be us nerding out.
Because if you don't like nerding out, then this next section won't be pretty.
If you don't like nerding out, why are you here?
Right. Exactly. We're the bridge of two. All
we do is nerd out.
I mean, this is a nerd cast. It's not even a podcast.
Of epic proportions.
Yeah, so Obi-Wan Kenobi is happening, and it cannot be stopped. It is coming at us like a freight train, and it will murder our Star Wars thirst.
Very on brand.
We'll quench our Star Wars thirst is the more positive way of saying it.
Coming. It is coming very soon.
Yes.
I mean, like, what, today's March 22nd?
Yeah,
literally 2 months.
25th, May 25th.
Oh, I can't. So, World War III just needs to hold off for another 2 months.
All right. Yeah.
So I can quench my Star Wars thirst. murder.
I mean, the trailer itself, I think it's great. Definitely does. Like, it was like what you wanted to, I think, for the most part, see. Obviously, you want to see more Vader. I think you want to see Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, I mean, I can deal with that.
It's kind of teasing. It's not a full trailer.
See, my trailer, I don't want to see the Darth Vader Hayden Christensen because I want that to be kept a secret till the show.
You want the first time you see it, whenever to be like show. In the yeah.
I think trailers nowadays show too much.
Oh, I agree with you.
And so I want them to not show him. I don't want to see him. I don't want. I don't even really necessarily. I mean, I think the trailer was the perfect amount of teasing a lot of different things, but not really saying about what the story's even going to be about.
It showed stuff, but it didn't tell the whole story. Like, that's what trailers do so much, and it really annoys me. It's like, well, I don't even see the movie.
Yeah,
all the best parts are in the trailer. I know exactly what happens.
I know how it's going to end. I can figure it out from context.
So, but
yeah. I mean, oh God, I'm just my favorite. I don't know. My favorite part about the trailer, just in general, is just Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. I love seeing. I'm glad to see him back.
Just hearing his voice in that, Obi-Wan Kenobi cadence, because he's Scottish. So
Scottish. I didn't know that was Scottish. I don't know what do Scottish people sound like.
I don't either. But I know that Obi-Wan Kenobi's not Scottish.
He's not?
He's, I don't know, Coruscantian?
I don't think he is. What? Do we know where he's from?
What is wrong with us?
For real, we're not.
Why don't we know? Gosh, pause the podcast.
No, don't pause it. Keep it
I'm not
rolling.
really going to pause it.
Keep it rolling. Well, keep talking.
So, okay. Well, so what, I was reading an article about the show, and it was talking about how, in the like later 2000, like first decade of the 2000s. What?
Okay.
Where's he from?
Stu John.
How do you spell that?
Stewjon. Listen to this.
Good thing he left.
Obi-Wan hails from a planet called Stewjon. It's never actually appeared in either the canon timeline or the defunct Legends continuity, but it's canon because George Lucas declared it to be so during an interview with television host Jon Stewart at Celebration 5 in 2010.
During Jon Stewart? And the planet's named Stewjon? He named the planet because he was talking to Jon Stewart? We all have these fond memories of George Lucas, but then we need to remember things.
I like it, but it's canon because George Lucas declared it. It's like, yeah, he has the right. That's where Obi-Wan's from.
I guess.
Obi-Wan's from Stewjon.
Although I would make an argument that if it doesn't appear in any canon, then it's kind of a thin canon.
I mean, yeah, they technically could go, like, especially Disney now can go in there and change it, but it doesn't look like they have. So far, it's just Obi-Wan's from Stewjon.
Could they pronounce it differently? Like Stewjon?
Stewjon?
I don't know. Doesn't sound much better. Whatever. Anyway, that was a disappointment. Kind of like this canned water. But yeah, no, so I was reading this article. Speaking of George Lucas, he was planning a Star Wars show after episode 3 came out. It was going to be called like Star Wars Underworld or something like that. It was going to take place on Coruscant, and it was going to be about the underground, like the crime, like the Coruscant's criminal underworld.
Yeah.
And it was going to, focus on not main characters.
Yes.
I think Boba Fett maybe would have made some appearances, but like the main character was going to be this Jedi named Quinlan Vos or something like that.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
being hunted by...
I know Quinlan Vos.
Okay.
He's in the Clone Wars TV show.
Okay. I've heard his... I feel like...
He also has a book about him. Really good book.
He was going to be like the main character of the show, I think, and...
he actually has one of the only... He's in one of the only, like, decent books in the new canon. Like, books that have, like, really held my attention.
What's the name of it?
Oh, I don't remember. It's got Asajj Ventress in it.
Yeah, okay.
I read it a while ago.
So it's like a Clone Wars book, kind of.
I think it's technically based off of a couple episodes of Clone Wars that they never ended up doing.
Okay. Well, anyway, so...
Sorry.
He, basically the article was saying that the show is kind of getting to do a little bit the premise of of that show, which is not necessarily the like small characters, because obviously you got Darth Vader, you got Obi-Wan, you got Luke, so the more major characters are the focus. But apparently Obi-Wan is going to be having to leave Tatooine for some reason.
Real quick, Dark Disciple is the name of the book. Star Wars Dark Disciple.
Okay.
Main characters are Asajj Ventress and Quinlan Voss. Really good. Give it a read. But yes, back to your regularly scheduled program.
Yeah, so for some reason Obi-Wan is leaving Tatooine.
Yes.
I don't know if it's to draw the Inquisitors away from Luke because maybe he's attracting them, or is it because he overhears something that there's some kind of Jedi out there or something like that. He feels like kind of this conflict of like, because there was a book series I started as a kid called The Last of the Jedi, and the first book is Obi-Wan on Tatooine in between episode 3 and 4, and he is he's going about his business, his guarding Luke business, and somehow finds out that there's like a force sensitive person like on another planet or something like that. Anyway, he's like kind of dealing with this moral crisis of like, if there's still Jedi out there,
yeah,
how can I just sit here and hide? But at the same time, I'm supposed to be watching Luke, so I'm wondering if it's that kind of thing or what, but he's getting off the planet. He's going to, and the world that he's going to definitely has that criminal underworld Coruscant kind of feel to it.
Yeah, I'll be very curious to know why he's leaving Tatooine. For sure. Like, I don't know. I just like, there's a couple different things that probably could be like you were saying. I'm very curious. And it does seem like the planet he's going to does have that underworld vibe. Yeah. Almost like a place that you would assume a Jedi in hiding would try to go. So maybe he is hunting down or trying to find another Jedi, or the rumors of maybe he's being drawn out by someone or for something. It just, there's so many possibilities. I think it's interesting that they're going to take him off Tatooine. I think, I don't mind it. I think that some people might, but I don't. I think it could be cool, be interesting. That's why I was going to fight Darth Vader again.
I love the line. From I assume the High Inquisitor, which the Inquisitors, I guess, are like, they're Sith.
No.
They're not Sith, like, full Sith.
They're like Dark Jedi, basically.
Okay, yeah. So they're Force users, but they're not considered
Sith. Yeah. They're Dark Force users, but they're not considered Sith, because technically the Sith are... Because the Sith are just a sect of Dark Jedis, basically. Right. They're like the main ones, and then you have Dark Jedi, and then Jedi, and then just, Force users in general. And so I think the Inquisitors are technically considered like a Dark Jedi, Dark Force user, but they're basically not granted the full right of Sith.
Okay. But the guy is like saying the best way to hunt a Jedi is to be patient, because Jedi can't help. They're like impulses to like help and try to do good and things like that, and so the idea that if you it like cuts his dialogue over, Obi-Wan walking with his cloak up, and he's kind of like watching stuff, and he's probably seeing things that he wants to like intervene and stop. So that tension, I think, will be very interesting. To have that tension through the show of like, I can't reveal myself, but at the same time, I want to. He's still Jedi. Like, you can't just turn it off.
Yeah.
And
that's also what leads me to believe that maybe he's being lured off the planet by these Inquisitors. Somehow something's happening, and Obi-Wan's gotten the information, and that's what's leading him off planet. And it's really just a ploy by the Inquisitors to find a Jedi.
Yeah. I wonder how much there'll be with Luke in the show. Like, I just wonder how much interaction there'll be with him. It does look like there's going to be a good bit of, or some with like Owen and which looks interesting,
which is awesome. And it's awesome that they got the actor back,
the same guy, the same actor from episode 3.
Their ability to get these actors back and play, and like, it's amazing. I mean, I knew when McGregor pretty much said that he'd always come back and play Obi-Wan again. I mean, I think he really enjoyed that role, and he kills it in that role. Same with Hayden Christensen as Anakin.
Yeah.
Even though he got some flack for his role, I think at this point in time,
Right.
it's kind of that has changed.
Well, he's, I mean, everyone, I mean, pretty much universally, I thought people thought that his best performance was episode 3, which is no longer like whiny Anakin, but it's Sith Lord Anakin.
Yeah.
And now he's Darth Vader Anakin. So I don't think there's any reason to be concerned about that,
Oh no, I think once again, I think at this point everyone loves Hayden Christensen as well. I think all those actors are pretty much well beloved by the fans.
Yeah. Well, and that's something Ewan McGregor said recently, that there's this positive wave, this wave of positivity for the prequels that has been happening, in recent years, and now they're able to enjoy in a different way being a part of these characters while this wave of positivity for them is happening.
Yeah.
Whereas before there was a little more of a mixed kind of bag in terms of fan reaction, things like that, as those prequels were coming out, because some fans, it just wasn't what they
were hoping for, wanted, or whatever.
But now you have the people that grew up with those movies, like that those were their first Star Wars movies, so
like me.
Exactly. They're like adults now, and they're like super excited for this. So, which, definitely me too. So, did you notice that he is, that Luke, whenever he like zooms in on with the binoculars, that he's pretending, it looks like he's pretending to pod race to me. He's wearing it looks like he's wearing the pod racing like Anakin's pod racing goggles, and he's like, he's got his hands in the same like hand positions of like Anakin when he's racing.
It's possible. I mean, the goggle stuff, it looked the same. I just assumed it was him pretending to fly a plane as a kid would.
Yeah. It could.
But it could also be, Tatooine is known for, I don't know, but the thing is, are they still known for their pod racing?
Right. That's what I was wondering too, is you definitely never heard about that in the original trilogy, but
so I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the Hutts are still there.
The Hutts are still there. Jabba's still there.
So
Jabba's the one who's running that stuff. I mean, I'm sure it's still going on. It just depends. I don't know. It could be either or. I think either or really works. I definitely think the goggles were like a nod to Anakin.
Yeah.
Little Annie. It was just seeing, that was cool. Seeing little Luke.
Yeah.
In the trailer, like, oh, they're, I don't know.
What?
I just want, I have a hope for the show that I really want to happen really, really badly. And I'm going to
specific thing, or just like the general?
A specific thing. To an extent, like a specific. I want Force Ghost Qui-Gon Jinn.
That'd be great.
And I want
it to be
Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure Liam Neeson has come back and said
I would do it. Yeah. That'd be a pretty big secret they've kept if it was, because
gosh, if they did a scene though of just, even if a small scene of just like, Liam Neeson, Force Ghost, and Obi-Wan talking.
Right, because we know they did, and that's how like Obi-Wan learned
like it takes
how to become one with the Force and everything.
I'm pretty sure it took like 10 or so years for Obi-Wan to actually commune with Qui-Gon for the first time, and that's when this show takes place, doesn't it? About 10 years?
Yeah. It's been about 10 years, I think.
I don't know. That would just be amazing if they did that. Like,
yeah.
Missed opportunity if they didn't, just because I'm pretty sure Liam Neeson has said he'd come back and do it.
Right.
But it just, I don't know.
I know you had a thing, you read that there was like some other plan, like the original plan for the Obi-Wan show, like years ago, before the Mandalorian was really big.
Yeah, because this show has been kind of
they've been talking about it for a long time. Years. I feel like they were talking about this when, like episode 8, around that time, episode 7, that started to
really around when Disney first got Star Wars almost.
Yeah. Apparently it was going to be almost like a very similar, there was going to be a very similar dynamic kind of show to The Mandalorian, where it was going to be like Obi-Wan and Luke, like little Luke going around and, on whatever the main like villain was of the main like plot, but it was going to be like that feel of this father-son almost relationship between the two of them a little bit.
I don't know how I would have liked that.
I don't know.
I don't think that
I don't know how much I would have either.
I feel like that kind of, because I feel like right now they're really going to be skirting the edge with continuity,
right,
with the show, and I feel like that would have pushed it over of like, I don't know, because Luke doesn't, older Luke in episode 4 doesn't treat Obi-Wan like someone that he knows who he is, but he doesn't treat him like someone that he really knows, right? Considering that he only knows him as old Ben.
He knows him like a neighbor
yeah,
kind of thing.
You know, and so that's just the someone that he trusts and someone that he's known for like his whole life, but not one that he's really like known, just
right.
like he's
but
just
they've like gone
that,
through like serious stuff together.
Yeah, and I feel like if they had that like father son kind of thing going, it would just screw with things. I think it would be weird.
But then I think Darth Maul was going to be like the villain.
I did hear that was a possibility.
Yeah, but
which I'm glad they didn't do. I feel like Obi-Wan and Maul got their to do in the Rebels TV show. Right.
Yeah, anything they would have done would have kind of messed with that continuity.
Because I'm pretty sure Maul didn't know Obi-Wan was there until later on in during Rebels. He finds out that Obi-Wan's on Tatooine.
Well, speaking of continuity, that's like you said about them skirting the line. Like they're going to have to be careful in this show because, like, Vader can't know he has kids because he didn't know he had kids until the original trilogy, and
Vader can't know that he's hiding on Tatooine.
He can't know where he's hiding. Yeah. So there's like just stuff like that, which means the Inquisitors can't really know that Vader has kids either, because then he would find out. So just those are the kinds of things that they have to like, not be too loose with or too like excited to be like, bring this in because it'd be really cool, but it would like, contradict major continuity stuff.
It will be interesting to see the Inquisitors live action too.
Yeah,
because they've been in the Rebels TV show and they've been in Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
And I don't know of anything else. Probably a couple books. They've been a couple books,
probably comics too,
and some comics. Yeah. But other than that, so it'll be interesting to see them in live action and see them kind of go at it.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking when we were watching the trailer, like this show is, I feel like just from what I've seen that I feel like it's going to be this way, but it definitely, like, the potential is very strongly there, which maybe I've said it before on the podcast, but very strongly there for this show to make lots of different things, like enhance the, like, for example, I was just thinking, like, getting to potentially see like Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru or whatever, see Luke, like to get to know them a little bit, because you don't really get to know them in episode 4 and then get fried, so to get to know them a little bit in this show, to see even Owen like being kind of I don't know, tough guy, but like just being protective of Luke and these sorts of things, like endearing you to them even more, and then knowing like what happens to them in episode 4, like it'll just enhance the emotion of that sacrifice,
It could also be a good opportunity for them to kind of expound on, because Owen in episode 4 is very stay here, Kenobi. Don't like Kenobi, don't get involved in anything. But in the trailer, it almost looks like young Owen is in the process of about to get involved in something. So it'd be a good way. I feel like the show could give them a good opportunity to really branch out why Owen turns into the way he does. Right. And it probably has something to do with the fact that something probably close to almost happens to him or the family or Luke or something like that.
Yeah.
And then that would also kind of, and I know, like, I'm sure he understands a little bit of who Anakin is and Darth Vader and all that, but I think it would be a good idea to kind of branch a little bit more into like him finding out about that as well, maybe whether it's from Obi-Wan or whatever. I don't know. I think it'd be, they have a lot of opportunity with Owen, Uncle Owen a lot there, and Aunt Beru, to kind of expound on their characters, like you said, and to kind of understand why they are the way they are in episode 4.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, here's one thing I wanted to talk about. Did you hear Ewan McGregor talking about, like, it's been kind of buzzing on the internet that Ewan McGregor was in an interview talking about seeing Hayden on set, and he's Obi-Wan and he's Anakin. Have you heard that? Him talk
I,
about that?
I haven't watched the interview, but I've heard that.
So he was talking just about, like, he was just mentioning it offhand, talking about how it's like, no time has passed. We saw each other, and he's Anakin and I'm Obi-Wan, and we look the same. We don't look like he didn't look like he was any older, da 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 da. But what that kind of, in a roundabout way, confirms is there is going to be scenes that are either flashbacks or nightmares or dreams or whatever that we're going to get to see, like Obi-Wan and Anakin. Like, I mean, new stuff. Like,
they need to do that. They would be missing out on opportunity. They didn't. They're back with having Obi-Wan and Hayden back. They would be missing out on opportunities to at least throw some like flashbacks in there from like something going on in the Clone Wars or whatever, or even back when Anakin was younger. It's like episode 2, or right before episode 2 or something like that. And some of the missions they went on as Master and Padawan. I don't know. They would be because of that they didn't do something that they'd be missing out on opportunity. It'd almost be cool if they did, and I don't think they will because the show's not long enough. Probably gonna be like another 8 episode season like they do for every other show nowadays.
6.
Oh gosh, why do they do this?
But I've heard the episodes are gonna be pretty long.
But it would have been cool if they did kind of like you ever watch The Arrow?
Yeah.
Kind of like they did there, where like half the show is a flashback and half the show is what's going on. And the flashbacks sort of correlate to what's going on.
They did it on Boba Fett a little bit too.
So that would be kind of cool if they did that. So Arrow did it better than Boba Fett did.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because they didn't just spend an entire half an episode in the flashback. It was like they would flash back and forth, and they usually would correlate.
Well, and it correlated like to what
was going on, to an extent what was going on. I think that would have been cool, but like I said, I don't think they could do it a 6 episode thing. I feel like that would take away from the story they're trying to tell.
Yeah, I agree.
But it would be cool if they did it longer and did that. But I don't know. I would love to see live action Obi-Wan and Anakin Clone Wars era.
But, yeah, definitely. One thing I thought about too, which I don't think they'll do, but how I don't think they'll do because Ahsoka has been in the shows recently, but they haven't necessarily delved into her character's history with Anakin. Like, she was in The Mandalorian, but if you haven't seen Clone Wars, or if you don't know anything about who she is, then you just think she's just this random Jedi that's out here hiding.
Yeah.
That's cool Jedi. But then if you see the episode she's in the Book of Boba Fett, then you'll see, she
does know. She knows Anakin.
She knows Luke, and she did mention she knew Anakin. Did she mention him? But did she mention...
I'll be honest, I've never actually seen the episode yet. I just see a bunch of things that people posted, and I can't tell if they're legit things or not.
Yeah, I think she mentioned something about about Luke's father, but I don't remember if it was enough to... Well, I guess what I'm saying is there was a deleted scene from Clone Wars that a scene that never got fully animated. Not long after Ahsoka was Anakin's Padawan. So spoiler warning, if you don't want to know, if you want to know about see the Clone Wars and you don't want to know stuff about Ahsoka Tano's story. I mean, she is Anakin's Padawan, but if you don't want to know what her storyline is in the show, then skip ahead a little bit. But yeah, so she leaves the Jedi Order, and Anakin has a real tough time with it. And there's a scene Obi-Wan and Anakin are camping out or something on a mission, and Anakin's just really upset about it. Have you seen this?
I think I've seen it. Yes, I have seen it. I just don't remember.
And Obi-Wan's I forget what he's saying, but Anakin says, "How would you feel if I turned away from the Jedi and I just abandoned it?" He's trying to basically say, try to understand how I'm feeling with that she abandoned the Jedi. And Obi-Wan says, "Well, thankfully that hasn't happened and never will." So it's I get chills thinking about that scene. If you there's a mildly animated version of it out there. If you're listening and you like the Clone Wars and you've never seen that scene, I encourage you to see it because it's really well done, dialogue wise and everything. Very foreshadowing for everything with Anakin. But it would be really cool to see that live action.
Yeah,
and since they haven't done it, actually aired that in the Clone Wars, they could do it in live action. The only thing is, it's all revolving around Ahsoka, and so I don't know if they could do that scene.
I doubt they will.
without giving like some groundwork of like who Ahsoka was.
Yeah,
and all that.
I don't think they could, they will or could.
Yeah.
Without, not with the amount of time they have in the show. I don't know.
Yeah.
We are getting an Ahsoka TV show too, though.
Right. And I think it was just confirmed that Hayden Christensen is going to be appearing in it.
I mean, if they don't do flashbacks of that either, then they're stupid.
Yeah.
Hayden Christensen, man, he's making his rounds again. Good. I'm glad because I love him as Anakin. I want to see more of him as Anakin.
Yeah.
Oh, this is exciting. I think Ezra Bridger just got confirmed for the Ahsoka show too. The kid in Rebels.
Oh wow, really?
I think live action him just got it confirmed.
Interesting.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I saw that. Unless that was like a fan thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's definitely a lot of cool stuff on the horizon. I think.
I think it's just something that she said. I'm trying to find it, but I think it's something she said.
Well, all this talk about this post episode 3 like era and the Inquisitors makes me want to go back and play Jedi Fallen Order again, like play through it.
I know. I've actually been wanting to too. I have a guy that I watched on YouTube he plays games, and he's doing a playthrough of Fallen Jedi Order.
I think there was some DLC for it I never played.
They updated some stuff.
They did add some stuff in some free updates. Yeah,
I gotta play it too because I have it on my PS4. I got it on sale for like $5. I need to play it again.
Yeah.
That was a fun game. That was a really fun game.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
So
they're
it's
making a second one. They're switch,
Yes.
so I'm definitely interested to see where they take that.
Like the characters in that game.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that was the best. I think that was the best showing of the Inquisitors too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I never watched too much Rebels yet, but the Inquisitors were like, I don't know, they were okay, but they seemed kind of goofy.
Yeah,
Flying with their lightsabers.
They're flying with their lightsabers.
Yeah, they had the lightsabers and the handles spin. They legit like helicopter. I'm not joking. I'll pull this up. It is cringe.
How is that possible?
It's not. It's a cartoon. Whoever made it wasn't thinking.
I mean, I know that like they did that in the Jedi Fallen Order where the helicopter, but they didn't make them fly with it. Did you know that the High Inquisitor was the Jedi Guardian? Or is that not Jedi Guardian? Like the guard of the that took Ahsoka in when she was accused of betraying the Jedi Order. Oh, I saw it.
It is.
He's
insane.
Like just puts it up and just.
They both are.
Oh,
just helicoptering in. It is.
Oh my gosh.
Although you know what I'll say, if you don't have to watch the Rebel show, but you know you should. There's a 2-part episode. There's 3 of them. There's a 2-part episode. It is called. Oh, what's it called? It is so silly. I just can't. It's called. Oh man, something of the Twilight Apprentice.
Twilight of the Apprentice. Yeah, it's
Twilight of the Apprentice
with Ahsoka. Right?
Have you watched it?
I've seen the relevant.
Watch gosh, that is.
Those
2 episodes are really good, especially the fight between her and Vader.
There's a whole theory surrounding that episode
And going back in time.
Yeah, that there's split timeline.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I told you about that.
Maybe. We definitely talked about it.
We've definitely talked about it. We either did or we were going to do a theory episode on it.
Yeah, I don't think we did a theory episode. We were talking about it. But yeah, there's a theory that created a split timeline, that one of them was...
In the episode Twilight Apprentice, Ahsoka and Vader are fighting.
Right.
And it has left you to believe that Ahsoka dies.
Right.
And I remember everyone thought... Because that was the end of the season. Everyone thought she was dead. And then Dave Filoni did something and it became a hashtag of Ahsoka lives or something like that.
Yeah.
And she came back. And how it was confirmed, or how it was done, she came back as in one of the last season or something like that. Ezra's in like some weird out of time thing.
Right.
And he basically goes back in time and reaches in and saves Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And so now it's split timeline. One where Ahsoka lives and one where Ahsoka dies.
Right.
And the timeline with the Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett and all that is the one where Ahsoka lives. Right. And then that's the one where you have... So the theory is that the Mandalorian timeline and all that is one where Ahsoka lives, so she's able to help the Mandalorian with Grogu, and that saves a lot of things there. And the other timeline is a timeline where the
sequel trilogy is like the darkest timeline. It's where
like Grogu didn't,
because she never took Grogu and
he got captured and became like Snoke or something, or
well, they got enough of his blood to like create Snoke or whatever, and then Luke had, instead of him being Luke's first apprentice, which they still kind of allowed that in Book of Boba Fett, but instead of Kylo being his first apprentice, Grogu was, and da-da-da-da-da. So, yeah, basically it's like...
It was an interesting theory, and I feel like if it's true, the Ahsoka TV show will be the one that proves it.
It would be so easy for them to make it true, but I think the further we get into the shows, the more we will see them basically, making them line up with the sequel trilogy canon.
Although I heard they're kind of trying to branch away from the sequel trilogy. They kind of want to be done with it.
I think they do, but at the same time,
that would be their perfect way.
I've heard them talking about doing like Finn stuff and Rey stuff. No, not like another numbered.
They don't,
movie, but just like
an animated something or whatever.
No, like other like a show or a movie. But
no, I mean, at least not with the same actors.
No, they've said they wouldn't do it.
Finn, the guy who played Finn, he burned his bridge with that character on purpose.
You never know, though. I mean,
he burned his bridge with that character on purpose. Trust me. Do you not remember the whole thing with him?
Oh yeah, I remember. I do remember.
Yeah,
I still don't know if.
Not with him as the actor.
They would love to get him back.
He won't come back. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he will come back. I think he's done with it. I think
if the girl told him this is going to be the Finn show.
No, I don't think so.
Because then he would be getting what he wanted the whole time.
No, I still don't think so. I really don't. I don't think that they're going to do it. I don't think that they would do it. I think they'd be stupid to do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's mainly been rumors. I don't think anyone has actually said they want to do that within Lucasfilm, so it's mainly been rumors.
I hope not. They kind of need to branch away. I mean, I like the sequel trilogy for what it is, at least some parts of it.
Right.
But they probably at this point need to branch away from it. They need to just let Dave Filoni run the entire thing.
Yeah.
And just let it be its thing.
I mean, they basically are at this point until they start making more movies. I mean, is there even a movie? There's not even a movie in production right now. That's
I think they're I think they're going they're going hard in the shows,
which is probably smart. Give everyone. I mean, obviously, people are watching all the shows and stuff, but I think it's probably good for their brand a little bit to take a step back from the movies. Mm-hmm. Figure out the IP a little better, understand it a little better, what the fans are,
kind of
care about.
Yeah.
And
I just don't think they'll be able to do the movies anymore. At least not.
Yeah, where do you go from here? They're
gonna have to do.
They've never made a Star Wars movie and they've never made they'll just be. I don't know. They'll just be one shot movies.
Yeah, they would have to. They would have to branch it off and do something completely different. They'd have to go away from the Skywalker saga, probably far away from the Skywalker saga.
What you said, Dave Filoni, really, that would be the safest bet for them to do. Is really to let the people who are running the shows. They're learning what works, and they're learning what how to pace things and how to do the Star Wars lore and everything. So let them learn on the shows, which they are. Not that Dave Filoni didn't really need to learn, but he went from animation to now live action.
Well, Dave Filoni also the reason Dave Filoni is good is because he also knows. I feel like he understands Lucas's vision for Star Wars, and understands what the fans like about Star Wars, but also can implement it in a way that's different from what has already been done.
Yeah.
And I think the shows have shown, especially the Clone Wars has shown they do, because the Clone Wars holds very strictly to Star Wars and what Star Wars is, but also does a lot of different things.
Yeah. Well, here's something that what they should do, and what they should have done to begin with. Whenever Marvel was starting to take off, there was a whole bunch of internal politics stuff of who was telling them what, and kind of keeping the movies from being spreading their wings and kind of being a little weirder and stuff. We're talking before the Doctor Strange movie and that kind of thing. But they were able to break away and get Kevin Feige as the kind of head over the whole thing. So Kevin Feige was the centralized vision to make sure everything stayed on track. Over the course of the whole saga of Marvel movies, and he still is. And he understood what they needed to do to execute those things. And yeah, he picked great directors and they, I'm sure was very integral in the part of but he was just kind of guiding it along, making sure it stayed on pace, letting people do their own thing and have fun and explore things, but still keeping it on track.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Filoni could be that person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dave Filoni could be the Kevin Feige for Lucasfilm, and just guide everything, keep it on track, and it would be Star Wars. And I don't necessarily, there's episodes of Clone Wars and there's little subplots in Clone Wars that aren't the best,
but
and that it's not like.
But
Dave
at least
Filoni,
they're staying true to
and
Star
even
Wars.
Book of Boba Fett. There was stuff in Book of Boba Fett that just wasn't as engaging, but it's still right. Staying true to Star Wars. It still feels like Star Wars. It's never going to feel like a complete violation.
Mm-hmm. You're trying out new things, and maybe this one didn't land, but at least you didn't screw with what Star Wars is or go against what Star Wars is.
And as long as someone has a vision is kind of looking over it, saying, this is Star Wars, this isn't Star Wars, then there's freedom for people to still explore and go a little wacky with it, but still be true to Star Wars, so that's really what they should do. And maybe they are doing that. I would not be surprised if the next time we hear of a Star Wars movie in development that Dave Filoni's not on it in some way, producing, writing the script, something along those lines.
Overseeing or whatever. I don't know. I hope so. I hope the Star Wars stuff coming out now continues to be good. I know they got a few shows on the horizon other than just Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I hope they all end up being good. I heard there was a new animated show coming that was teased for Lucasfilm, Star Wars.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Someone said somewhere that a new animated thing's on the horizon. Seems exciting, so that's exciting. I like their animation stuff. Seems I wasn't the biggest fan of Rebels for when I watched, but the Clone Wars is obviously amazing. So
I think they could do. They could just do a straight up traditional animation. That's making a renaissance a little bit right now. But
I don't know. I hope. I have a feeling that Obi-Wan Kenobi is gonna be a good show. I really do. I hope the story's good. I hope it's engaging. I hope they just stay true to the characters and the world. And I'm excited for it. I'm super excited for it. I haven't been excited for something Star Wars in a while. And I'm excited for this one, so.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll definitely be talking about it when it comes out.
We'll probably be doing an episode by episode deep dive.
Yeah, I think so.
When it comes out, I have a feeling.
Imagine what we can do with an hour long Obi-Wan episode versus a minute trailer.
Yeah.
A lot of material to work with.
For real, though.
So.
Alrighty, well.
Anything else we should say about Obi-Wan?
Just be excited, guys. I'm excited.
Get excited. Get hype.
Get hype.
Drink your liquid death.
I've already finished my liquid death. It was very refreshing water. I'll give it that.
All right. Well, this has been Bridge of Two Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
A far, far away bridge. So this is Scooby-Doo as Obi-Wan and Shaggy as Anakin. And they're doing the scene of the high ground scene from episode 3.
His lightsaber's a hot dog. I didn't realize that. This is amazing.
It's Rover, Raggy. I wrapped the high ground.
You underestimate my power, Scoob.
Won't try it.
I don't have any more. I can't.
Dismembered.
I hate you. Anyway.
You were my brother, Raggy. I rubbed you.